everyone. My name is Haley Kozel, and I am the 2022-2023 Pulaski Queen of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We are here today to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Pulaski Days by doing our annual flag raising ceremony. Today I have here with me Michelle Kirschner. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself. So Michelle, how did you get your start with Pulaski Days?
Thank you, Haley. And I want to say we're very blessed to have Haley as our 50th Pulaski Queen as we roll into this commemorative year. We're so excited. And Haley, you're representing so well. So thank you for that. As she said, I'm Michelle Kirschner, and I am the chairwoman of Pulaski Days. And I'm very excited. I have a wonderful board that has put together a week-long festivities. This used to start off as a weekend event, and we're now rolling out a week-long in our heritage for 50 years. So we're super excited to present it and bring it all to you.
Thank you, Michelle, for that. I would also like to ask, what is the most important part about Pulaski Days to you?
Great, I love that question. You know, many people, as I've shared, and I will share today when we present, is that I have been a part of this for 32 years. I started off as the Pulaski Queen in 1991, and I never dreamed that Walt Ulanch would draft me to be on the board. And now I serve as the chairwoman that represents all of the Polish community. So my greatest pride is the tradition of Polish heritage and making sure that we keep this alive for generations to come.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We would not be here without you, especially with all your years of work that you've put in for this and planning for the 50th anniversary. That could not have been easy. So thank you so much for all the dedication that you have put into this. And up next, we will have our flag raising ceremony. Thank you guys very much.
Now let's begin our ceremony with the presentation of the U.S. and Polish flags. Doing the honors, our Pulaski Days Queen, Haley Kozel, representing Diamond Avenue Hall. Our Pulaski Days Court member, Sydney Vachon, representing Polish Falcons. And an honor guard from the Grand Rapids Police Department and the Grand Rapids Fire Department. At this time, let's welcome Kaylin Heidenberg to sing the U.S. and Polish national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, kiedy my żyjemy. Zona mowca przewód wzięła, szablą odbierzemy. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, ziemioskie do Polski, za twoim przewodem, złocim się z narodem. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, ziemioskie do Polski, za twoim przewodem, złocim się z narodem.
Beautifully done.
And we're honored to have several dignitaries with us here today, including Peter Dicko, representing Senator Gary Peters, Mayor Rosalind Bliss, Judge Sarah Smolensky will also be speaking. State Representative Carol Glanville is here representing Governor Whitmer, and also Kent County Commissioner Carol Hennessy. But first, let's take a moment and remember the man in whose honor we celebrate Pulaski Days each year. Everybody could be seated at this point. Thank you. Casimir Pulaski, Polish and American patriot, revolutionary, and hero, gave his life for liberty 243 years ago during America's War for Independence. Leading a cavalry assault at the Siege of Savannah, he was mortally wounded. But the cause for which he fought so courageously was to prevail, and his immortal example of service and sacrifice was to inspire lovers of freedom around the globe forever after. America does well to pause in remembrance on the anniversary of General Pulaski's death and to swear eternal allegiance to the principles of liberty and justice he held dear. Casimir Pulaski had also fought for liberty in Poland, his native land. When victory eluded the brave Polish people, he sought a kindred cause and found it in America. Here, the shot heard round the world had sounded a warning to tyrants and hope to mankind. Like Polish patriots to this day, Pulaski knew that freedom's call is universal, that a battle for freedom anywhere is a battle for freedom everywhere, that liberty is diminished everywhere as long as tyranny reigns anywhere. In fighting for America, General Pulaski fought also for the unalienable rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, rights that America had boldly declared, rights that God had granted to Americans, Poles, and all of humanity. America's struggle for freedom was victorious thanks to Casimir Pulaski and to countless men and women like him. Tragically, freedom has not yet come to some nations, and it has been snatched from others. But freedom is on the move. Just as General Pulaski stood with us, so will we continue to stand for liberty around the globe. So will we stand for the people of Poland, in whose hearts faith, freedom, and the spirit of Pulaski burn ever brightly. Let our observance of Pulaski Days 2022 remind us of everything this Polish hero and his fellow Poles have done for America. Let it remind us as well that his work and ours, the cause of freedom, goes on today and every day. And as mentioned, we are honored to have Grand Rapids Mayor Rosalind Bliss, State Representative Glanville, Judge Smolensky, and representatives from the Governor's Office here with us today. And to accept these proclamations, let's bring up Michelle Kirshner, the chairwoman of the Pulaski Days Committee.
All right, we have several proclamations today, and we've decided that we are going to read one of them. But I would like all the representatives to please come forward, and including Judge Smolensky, who's going to tell a little story, which we're excited for. So everybody come forward, and let's get this rolling. I hold the mic for you.
Oh, thank you.
So, everybody, I'd like to introduce to you our Mayor, Rosalind Bliss.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. What a beautiful day to celebrate Pulaski Days. And yeah, we should woo to that. Yeah, woo! And what a wonderful turnout. I love this event. I love Pulaski Days. I'm happy to continue to support this incredible community gathering here in our city. And I'm going to give Michelle the proclamation from the city, but I'm going to turn to my colleague, County Commissioner Carol Hennessy, to read her proclamation. And we'll stand together because both the city and the county, we know how important Pulaski Days is to our community, and we're happy to jointly support this.
We're very happy to stand together here in the 50th year. This is from Kent County. Whereas the typical quick step of the polka fly by, and so has time quickly passed as we celebrate the 50th year for Pulaski Days. And we mark the rhythm of the year with this annual time of merriment, knowing it all began in 1973 at Diamond Street Hall with friends Walt Ulanch and Ed Sizek. Whereas we meet again at the opening ceremonies to raise the flags, sing the national anthems, officially meet the Queen in court, and to remember the namesake of these events, Revolutionary War General Casimir Pulaski, who died a hero at the all too young age of 31. This is a year where we also acknowledge Poland's neighbor Ukraine and its fight for democracy as it continues. And this service reminds us of the Pulaski Days objective, to bring together people of all nationalities, to promote understanding, goodwill, make lasting friendships and acquaintanceships, and eliminate bigotry. Whereas we now pick up the tempo to join together for a spectacular 50th year parade and visits at 14 halls to enjoy good food, lively music, and spirited conversations. Now therefore be it resolved that we celebrate 50 years of Polish traditions as Pulaski Days 2022 is recognized and honored by the Kent County Board of Commissioners. Woo, 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 woo.
All right. I will accept the proclamation from the state of Michigan. Thank you very much, Carol Glanville. We greatly appreciate you being here today. Thank you. And Peter and Help. Thank you. Peter, thank you very much for being here. And thanks, Senator Peters. Thank you very much. All right. I am now going to turn it back to Scott.
Thank you. And before we bring Michelle back to introduce our Pulaski Days board members, the Queen in Court, let's learn a little bit about the history of this event. I should know it's going to be windy on this day, it always is. This year's Pulaski Day celebration will mark the 50th anniversary of Pulaski Days here in Grand Rapids. When the state of Michigan decreed by Public Law 121 October 11th as Pulaski Day, honoring Casimir Pulaski for his efforts in our war for independence, Ed Sizek, together with the cooperation of St. Isidore's Society, founded what is now known as the Pulaski Days celebration in Grand Rapids. Ed Sizek, together with Walter Ulanch as co-chairman, organized the first Pulaski Day Ball, which was held right here at St. Isidore's Club Rooms in 1973. Since then, similar clubs and organizations have joined together to make this a citywide celebration. The first Pulaski Days Parade and Queen Pageant were held in 1974. Each of these events has added to the phenomenal success of the Pulaski Days celebration. In 1976, the Pulaski Days Committee was formed to help coordinate all the efforts surrounding the event. Starting in 1980, a group of officers was selected to further help discharge the duties of the various volunteers in a more efficient manner. Grand Rapids' first Pulaski Days Polka Mass was celebrated on Calder Plaza on Sunday, October 9, 1977. The Mass has since become a regular feature of the celebration. Calder Plaza was the same location where the first flag-raising ceremony had taken place 6 days earlier on October 3, 1977. The final edition of the Pulaski Day celebration was the Polish Community Color Guard, which began in 1986 and has since represented Pulaski Days in many parades and official functions, including the Queen's Pageant, Parade, Mass, and of course the flag-raising ceremony. The people whose hard work has made the Pulaski Day celebration a success are too numerous to mention, but they should feel tremendous pride as they observe what a wonderful community event Pulaski Days has become. And we'll bring Michelle up now to introduce the board and the Queen in Court.
All right, before I introduce the board and the Queen in Court, I have a very special story that's going to be told for us by Judge Smolinski. If any of you know her, she's a fabulous storyteller, and she has so much to give, and her last name says it all. So please come forward, and we are so happy to have you here.
Thank you to the chairperson, Michelle Kirshner. Thank you for this board. They have done such a beautiful job to prepare for the Pulaski Days. Yes, again, now into its 50th year. Thank you very much. It's a lot of pressure when Michelle said she's got a story to tell, because I haven't talked to Michelle about what I was going to say, so I'm hoping I don't let anyone down. Let me tell you that as a judge for 32 years, this is one of the highlights of my career right now, to be asked to speak at the Pulaski Days flag raising ceremony. It is something that means a lot to me, because I think of the history of my family. And I think of my grandfather, my dad's dad, John Smolenski, one of the very first attorneys that was bilingual, spoke Polish beautifully. And what can I say? Yak shamash. Yeah? Yes, I can say yak shamash, and I can say kielbasa. And I'm sorry that my grandfather wasn't able to pass that on for me to speak Polish, but we have a lot of pride in our Polish heritage. My grandmother was Rose Miskowitz, a very famous solo singer, opera star, singing throughout the Grand Rapids and Kent County area. My grandparents lived at 5 Valley, right across from John Ball Park. The west side is the best side. Yeah, so you know it. And my dad and his 2 brothers went to Sacred Heart Elementary School. So far back in the day, my dad's report cards were written in Polish by the Sisters of Notre Dame, and you're talking about a very strong Polish commitment to their culture and to their longevity. We had a very large family, and when I think of my mom and dad having 10 of us, now this is 50 years ago, we're celebrating Pulaski Days. Some of you weren't here then. A few of you were just youngsters, teenagers. But realistically, when I think back to my family of 10, 9 daughters. I'm number 8 kid. My brother was number 1, the only boy. But we learned 2 things that were extremely important to our Polish heritage. One, we love Lewandowski's and getting the kielbasa every time. I spent so many days at going to Lewandowski's. My parents loved it, and we loved preparing kielbasa for every special occasion. And when you have a family of 10, not just the big holidays, we had a lot of special occasions. We loved the kielbasa, and we loved Lewandowski's. We also loved the polka. Maybe that was the best thing about having 9 girls. We had a lot of polka parties and a lot of dancing and had a lot of fun with the polka. To this day, I love doing the polka. We learned to love so much of the Polish heritage, the culture, the food, the dance. But I always think back, my dad was a judge, my brother was a judge. There is no question, and this is going back for me 32 years ago, the name Smolenski helped me get elected. Because people knew the Smolenski name from my dad and my brother and my grandfather. But I think about my dad back in the mid-70s, and he was on the district court bench 17, 18 years. He ran for circuit court back in the mid-70s. I was a kid at junior college. And I remember his slogan, and you went through and you really thought about a slogan. These candidates, Carol Glanville, Mayor Bliss, you got to really think of a good slogan because you want people to remember you. And I can remember my dad had a postcard with his picture on it. His slogan was simple. It said, Smolenski, or the others, you be the judge. But on the back of that card, was his favorite kielbasa recipe. I kid you not, I have one in my office to this day that Jerry Ford signed. My dad's kielbasa campaign card. When it came time for me to run for judge, my brother was at district court, took over from my dad. My brother was running for circuit when I was running for district. Another thing that helps you, because then the Smolensky signs are all over. I always had a sense of humor and I thought it would be funny and I ran it by my committee. Could we use this slogan for me? Go to the polls, vote Smolensky. They thought the play on words was a little too funny, so I just stuck with a tradition of justice. Vote Smolensky, and it worked. And it's worked for me every time since. I have a lot to be appreciative of my Polish heritage. When I think of, my notes don't even matter because I have it all right here. That's what we Polish people do. We have it right here. We don't need it. We don't need any of it. But I want to tell you, I appreciate being asked. I love being here. I love being Polish. I'm proud of my Polish heritage. It makes me think of my parents and grandparents who have been gone many, many years. They'd be proud. I called my last living uncle, my dad's brother, and I told him this morning I was coming here. He lives in Chicago. He's in his upper 80s, almost 90, and he was very excited about it. He remembers growing up. West Side is the best side. And I said, Uncle John, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell them all for the whole week of Pulaski Days. Party and have fun, but party responsibly. Because I don't want to see you in my court unless you're a juror. Not so much, baby! Thank you so much. Please, everyone have a seat. Thank you very much. Now you know why I brought her. We were all standing up here going, she should speak every year. She brings a lot of joy to what we have in our Polish community. So at this time, I am going to introduce our board who has put together this 50th celebration. Without all of their help, this could not have been accomplished. This board has dedicated nights, days, weekends. We started planning this before we were even at the 49th. So for all of the preparations and everything that it takes, please make sure that you come up to one of these board members and thank them for all of their dedication in making this happen. I'd like to introduce them. Teresa Nate, President, please, yes, wait. Teresa Bonham is inside preparing food. Sue Uzarski, Treasurer. Sarah Slomsky, Financial Secretary. Lisa Settle, Recording Secretary. Carol Baruda, Trustee. Mike Baruda, Trustee. Grace Castillo, Trustee. Nikki Pacific, Trustee. And Jim Sepler, Trustee. A big round of applause, because without all of their dedication and support, this could not happen. All right, at this time, I'm going to bring forward our Queen in Court for the official speaking. So ladies, please step forward. I'd like to start first with our court member, Ms. Sydney Vachon.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. It is a very special day as it's the 50th anniversary. And we wouldn't be here today without some of our sponsors, KSS Enterprise and Sobe Meats. So we thank them greatly for all that they've done for us. And I also wanted to remind everybody that this Wednesday, here at Diamond Avenue Hall is the kielbasa eating contest at 7 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you there. We are participating and we're excited, so you definitely should be there for that. And we also wanted to remind you that if you bought a Pulaski Day raffle ticket, the drawing is 5:30 p.m. on Sunday at St. George's. So thank you guys for being here again.
All right, and with no further ado, our 50th Queen, Miss Haley Kozel.
Thank you everyone for coming out here today and enjoying the beautiful weather that we have. We got very lucky for this. But again, we wouldn't be here without some of our sponsors, so we especially want to thank the City of Grand Rapids for helping make Pulaski Days exactly what it is, a time of tradition and a time of family and community. And we would also like to thank New Holland Brewery for helping create our special Casimir Reserve. Yes, let's give them some applause for that. Additionally, we do have some amazing events coming up, some of the highlights of Pulaski weekend. So first, our parade will be at 11 a.m. on Saturday. We will be lining up near the John Ball Zoo area, and the parade will go down Fulton from Valley to Lexington. We also will be having our polka mass the following day, this time at a later time, so everybody gets to sleep in a little bit. Let's get some applause for that. That will be at 11:30 a.m. at St. Anthony's. So without further ado, I think it is about time for us to kick off the start of Pulaski Days.
We are going to kick that off, but we have a couple honored guests with us today. The two founders of Pulaski Days. Their families are here. The Ulanch family and the Sidzik family. Without your dads, we all would not be standing here. So we'd like to bring you forward, and we have a presentation from the Ulanch family and from the Sidzik family. So please come forward. Starting first, I'm going to go with Tim and Terry Cole. Terry is the daughter of Walt Ulanch.
She doesn't want to talk, so I got drafted. But that's all right. On behalf of the Ulanch family, I want to thank the committee and the board for choosing the extended families of Ed Sidzik and Walt Ulanch to be the representatives, the co-marshals. This 50th anniversary has really been quite something already, and many of you that were at the event last night know what I'm talking about. The amount of history that was presented last night was absolutely fabulous. Dating back 50 years, the band's reiterations, the Queens, everything else. I don't think that Walt ever thought the Pulaski Days would get this big. The original Pulaski Day Square, as you're aware, was down at the corner of Michigan and Diamond. I know it was a big desire of Walt and Dottie to have it moved up here at the hall that started it all. I am certain that he and Dottie today and all week will be dancing in heaven. Dziękuję.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. He's smiling down now. Good and Dottie, I know. So I'd like to bring forward Jean. Jean is here representing the Sidzik family. And Jean, we look forward to hearing what you are going to share with us today. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. With all due respect to Judge Smolensky's tribute to the West Side, I ask you, where is the statue dedicated to Casimir Pulaski? There we go. My dad, Ed Sidzik, was one of 10 children, born to immigrants Andrew and Anna Sidzik, who came from Poland to the United States, as many immigrants did, searching for a better life and for freedom. My dad continued that fight for freedom when he, as many other Polish sons and daughters, fought in World War II. And my dad fought in some of the bloodiest battles in the Pacific Theater. In 1972, Governor Milliken declared October 11th a day to honor General Pulaski for his contribution to the American dream of freedom. My dad, Ed, and his friend, Walt Ulanch, thought that they would like to honor that commemoration. And so they created Pulaski Days. Pulaski Days was there to honor General Pulaski, but not only that, it was created to preserve and celebrate our strong Polish heritage. Thank you. And so today, here we are, 50 years later, continuing that tradition, honoring our strong Polish roots through our customs of food, dance, and drink. So we can't forget that. I didn't want to say beer because I know there's some vodka lovers here. All right. On behalf of my family, I wish my dad was here. He would be so proud. But thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much. I know this flag raising is a little bit longer than what we're used to, but we only get 50 years once. So I'm going to wrap this up before we do the ribbon cutting. I'm going to share a little story. When I was 20 years old, I was crowned the Pulaski Queen. Walt Eulanch said, "That young lady needs to come on our board." I was 20 years old, and I was made the treasurer of the damn board. I said, "Well, I don't know if I can do this." And he said, "It's people like you that are going to carry this tradition on." I had a moment last night when I was sitting with Tim and Terry, and as I was meeting with my committees, and they've shared with me, "Michelle, you've been a part of this for 32 years. And it hit me last night. 32 years. I don't know where it's gone. We started to get together with the Queen's Committee and all of our past queens. It took a lot of work to get here today, and a lot of people's dedication. And it's the dedication of each one of you that are carrying on the Eulanch and Sidzik dream. And that's what this is about. This is our Polish heritage. We have past chair people, past queens, past parade marshals, and young children to carry these dreams and keep them going. That's what this is about. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for your dedication of what you do for this Polish community. And let's make sure that we are safe when we're out the rest of this week. Call an Uber. Do not end up in her courtroom. Call an Uber. We know how to do this. Let's make sure we're responsible Polish Americans and representing ourselves well. All right, Scott, you can close us out.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, the ribbon cutting, officially kicking off the 50th Pulaski Days. But before we do the honors with our Queen in court, one last note. Everybody who's here is invited to join us for a time of fellowship, a light lunch, and music by Jerry Kaminsky's Polka Network inside the hall right after the ribbon cutting. All right, ladies, go for it. And thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you all very much. Feel free to head inside, and we look forward to being social and seeing you all inside. Thank you all very much.
Boy, Grand Rapids is going to be a polka town, especially this week. Holy moly. Kicking off today, actually kicking off last night. Kicking off yesterday afternoon at Dunnabeck's, actually, as we all started. You know, at Oktoberfest, October 1st, and we promoted the heck out of Pulaski Days. And at Dunnabeck's, they had a capacity crowd there and kicking it off at night. And here we are today, and Pulaski Eating Contest Tuesday, right here, and followed up by the Kabasa Eating Contest on Wednesday. All right. Maybe Chanina Eating Contest is on Monday, I think, with Punchkis.